Good morning. Welcome back. I hope you had a good weekend. This week we are. Oh, I need to update my board. This week we only have a 4-day week. Y'all know y'all have Friday off, and y'all have next Monday off. So this weekend is a 4-day weekend. You guys are going to have a test in here on Thursday over this. We've learned everything there is to learn pretty much. There's like one little bitty thing, but we're going to do that tomorrow. Hey y'all, I'm talking. We are going to kind of review today. You have a quiz the last 15 minutes of class today. So before that, we're going to review. First things first is on Friday, we learned what happens when x is the angle. So do y'all agree right here on A, x is the angle? What do I still do first for these triangles? You're always going to label your hypotenuse. I'm going to do that for both of these right here. And then compared to x, compared to this angle right here, what is the 9?
Opposite.
It is opposite. Do you agree that 9 is across the triangle from the x? When I have opposite and I have hypotenuse, I'm going to write this off to the side because I would write this on every paper. Do I have so, cut, or toa? So I'm going to do the sine of my angle, which is x. So is O over H. What is my opposite over my hypotenuse? 9 over 16. On Friday, if you weren't here, we learned how to get x by itself if it's the angle. What did we learn to do? Inverse. An inverse is just with the little -1. Those cancel, and you're just typing that in your calculator. So you're going to, what do we got to make sure real quick? Make sure you are in degree mode. If you're not in degree mode, hit the little wrench, get to degree mode. And in order to do inverse, you're going to have to hit this functions button on the keyboard. So functions, sine inverse, and then 9 divided by 16. And what do we get?
34.2.
And this wants us to round 1 decimal place. So I'm going to do 34.2 degrees is my answer. For the next, do I have any questions on that? For my next question, I have x right here. How do x and 8 compare? They're adjacent. Do y'all agree x and 8 are right next to each other? So that is called adjacent. And whenever I have adjacent and hypotenuse, look at the letters over here on the left side. Which one has adjacent and hypotenuse? Cosine. So my cosine of my angle, or in this case x, is A over H. What is my adjacent over my hypotenuse? 8 over 12. And how do I get x by itself? If x is the angle, I'm going to inverse every single time, whichever function it is. And so in my calculator, I'm going to hit functions. This time I want cosine inverse 8 over 12, which is 48.2 degrees. Please write that down. Mark, are you with me? You need a pencil? The next situation is actually real and true. So it says, the ADA, that's the American Disability Association, ramp laws for wheelchairs states a ramp must make an angle of at most 31 degrees with the ground. So do you agree it makes sense that if there are people in wheelchairs, they need the ramp to be a certain degree or lower, or else their wheelchair will not roll up the ramp, right? It'll roll right back down. So the actual law states the angle has to be 31 degrees at most, which means 31 or less. If a ramp is 30 feet long, where am I going to put the 30?
Between the ramp and 26.
No. If the ramp is 30 feet long, where do I put the 30? That's the ramp. The ramp is 30 feet. I'm putting the 30 on the ramp. Given the picture below, does this ramp satisfy the condition of ADA law? So where would my degrees that we're going to be measuring go?
Between the 26 and
30. I want to know, is this 31 degrees or less? That's my question for you. So what do I have here?
You have adjacent and your hypotenuse.
Yeah, you're right. I have the hypotenuse. Everybody please label the hypotenuse. And I have the adjacent because this 26 is right next to my x. Again, what is adjacent and hypotenuse? Cos. So it's going to be the cosine of x. What is my a over my h? 26 over 30. And if x is the angle, how do I get x by itself? I am going to inverse. So put this in the calculator. What is the inverse cosine of 26 over 30? For inverse, you have to hit that functions. 26 divided by 30 is, what was it? 29.9. Is this ramp ADA, does it follow the law?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's less than 31.
Because it's less than 31 degrees. This ramp is allowed. It follows the law. And there are actual inspectors that go around and check these ramps to make sure. FYI. All right. If you can please put your warm-up in your back pocket once you've gotten that written down for me. And everybody should have picked up this paper. You have, again, y'all have a test on Thursday. And you have a quiz in approximately 25 minutes. All right? So what I would like you guys to do is in the next 25 minutes to finish this worksheet. Real quick, I'm just going to give you some answers or give you some guidance. One, I don't know why there's not a 1 right here. Can everybody put a 1 right there? Hello. Ooh, who is it? She's not here today. Yep. All of these right here, everybody underline or box this word calculator. You're just putting 1 through 4 in the calculator. I'm not going to do that for you. These right here, you are just labeling. What do we always label first? So label the hypotenuse. According to your M, which side is opposite, which side is adjacent. That's all you're doing. Label them. Okay? I'm going to do number 9 with you. Number 9 says label each triangle and use your calculator to find the missing angle. So for this one, it says the cosine of P is 4. Oh, everybody at the top, can y'all write SOHCAHTOA on this paper? I'm actually going to write it on the front and the back. Everybody write SOHCAHTOA on the front and the back, please. SOHCAHTOA on the front and the back. All right, my cosine of P. Cosine of P, cosine is what? It is adjacent over hypotenuse. Can y'all write A over H right there? So right off the bat, what is my hypotenuse going to be? So can everybody label this 7? Where am I going to put the 4? At the bottom. Why?
Because it's adjacent.
That's adjacent to the P. It's right next to my P. And then how do I find angle P? What am I going to do to get P by itself?
You're going to have to inverse.
Anytime I'm looking for the angle, you're going to be inversing. So in your calculator, do inverse cosine 4/7. We've done a lot of inverse cosine today. And what do I get? 1 decimal place. 55.2 degrees. I'm also going to do number 12 with you. For these, you're doing like we did on the first day, which is page 45. All I want you to do is give me a ratio, meaning give me a fraction. So tangent of x. Tangent is what? O/A. And this angle is looking at angle what? X. What is opposite? Or what do I do first? Label your hypotenuse. Everybody label the hypotenuse, please. What is opposite the angle X? It's across the triangle. It's opposite. What's right next to the angle X? And that's all I want you to do for all of these. Does that make sense? You're just giving me a fraction. Don't solve it. You're not using your calculator. Just give me the fraction. Okay? Turn your paper over, please. See a couple people writing. Okay. For this one, what's the key word in this sentence on 19? Sine. Sine is what? O/H. So my 13 is my hypotenuse. What is opposite the 5? Here's 5. What's opposite? What is it? 3. Check mark 3. However, this is a rectangle. If this is 5, what else is 5? Do y'all agree this side would also be 5? What is opposite this 5? So 1 is also check marked. Alright, last one I'm going to do with you is number 21. Number 21, you do not care about this side of the triangle. I want you to focus on this triangle right here. This is actually a test question. What do I do first? Where's my hypotenuse? Across from the 90 is 23. Write this down with me, please. You have 75 degrees. How does H compare to 75? It is opposite. A lot of people get those backwards, and they make this one the hypotenuse because it's H. I don't like they use the same letter, but it is what it is. What is opposite and hypotenuse? Is it so, ka, or toa? So. So the sine of, what's my angle? Equals, what is my opposite over hypotenuse? H over 23. And just to remind ourselves, if x is on top, what do? We multiply. If x is on bottom, what do?
You switch.
Switch and divide. So this time it's on top. So what am I going to do? Multiply by 23. Multiply by 23. And put that in the calculator. What is 23 times the sine of 75? What do I get as my answer here? 22.22, because it's a side, it wants the hundreds. 2 decimal places for this one. You are going to spend the next, I'll do 18 minutes. Maybe not even, we'll see. Finishing this. At the end of this, you have a quiz. All right, so please do as much of this. This is a great time to ask questions if you don't know what's going on or you want extra help. It's also a good time to work with somebody. So if you would like to work with somebody, I'm perfectly fine with that. But y'all need to get this done and bring it to me. Go.